My self-centered brother and his bride-to-be insisted on taking my inheritance to fund their wedding. When my parents sided with them, I exposed a hidden family truth. My name is Mia, I'm 27, and the oldest in a modest, blue-collar household. We never lived lavishly, but my parents, Anna and Robert, have run a charming neighborhood bakery for more than 20 years. It's practically an institution in our small town. As kids, money was tight, but we always had what we needed. My parents poured everything into their work and passed that dedication on to me and my little brother, Jake. He's 25 now, and it's no secret he was always the favored one. Jake was the golden boy who rarely faced criticism. Whatever he did, even minor accomplishments drew huge praise, and he was shielded whenever he slipped up. I had to work twice as hard for any recognition. Truthfully, it never really bothered me. I was content staying in the background. I liked pursuing my ambitions quietly without craving constant validation. If Jake thrived on the attention, that was fine by me. At least, that's how I saw it until everything changed recently. The trouble started 5 years back when our grandfather died. We were very close, and his loss devastated me. At the reading of the will, I learned he had set up a trust fund in my name. It wasn't a fortune, but it was substantial enough to alter my future if managed carefully. There were conditions, however. I couldn't touch the principal until age 30, and afterward only for major goals like buying property or furthering my education. That felt reasonable. I had no intention of squandering it. My vision was to someday launch my own venture or secure a simple home in the city. Jumping ahead to this year, Jake proposed to his girlfriend, Emma. She's 26, comes from money, and has an irresistible charm. Confident, sociable, and instantly likable. I genuinely warmed to her initially. The shift began at a family meal several months ago. Suddenly, Emma mentioned my trust fund. She brought it up lightly, as if it were everyday chatter. She inquired about my intentions for the funds once they were released. Taken aback, I offered a non-committal reply about possibly purchasing a condo or starting a company. She grinned and remarked how lucky that was. Jake and I could truly benefit from assistance with wedding costs or a home down payment. Jake gave an uneasy laugh, seeming uncertain. I laughed too, assuming it was a joke. But her expression remained expectant. The mood turned tense fast. My parents intervened, noting that the money belonged to me and wasn't up for discussion. The subject appeared closed, at least for then, but it resurfaced. In the weeks that followed, Emma raised it repeatedly at gatherings, always indirectly, always sweetly. Comments like how wonderful it was that I had such a chance. Not everybody gets to aid their relatives that way. Early on, I ignored it. I'd redirect or dismiss it lightly, yet it grew more insistent. Soon Jake started supporting her hints. He'd mention how it wasn't like I needed it immediately. Seeking allies, I approached my parents. I asked them to speak with Jake and Emma to end the pressure. Instead, my mother replied that Emma simply wanted to feel part of things. She wasn't demanding. It certainly felt demanding, but suddenly I seemed oversensitive. I avoided conflict, but I refused to yield. The funds weren't accessible anyway, and when they were, I had my own purposes. I assumed firmness and composure would make them back off. I was mistaken. Weeks later, at another dinner, Emma drew me aside. This time, no pretense of subtlety. She urged me to rethink my stance on the trust. Contributing to Jake and her would demonstrate real care. It seemed rather self-centered to leave it idle when it could help so much. I was speechless. Few had ever labeled me selfish outright. Keeping my cool, I reiterated that the trust remained locked and that I had set plans for it later. Her smile vanished. She gazed at me as if I'd disappointed her deeply. "I suppose I misjudged your character," she said icily. The following day, Jake phoned. He offered a half-hearted sorry for Emma's words, but quickly added she was overwhelmed. And she had a point. Perhaps I ought to reflect on it. Doubt crept in. Was I truly selfish, overreacting? My trusted friends assured me otherwise, but the weight lingered. The deepest hurt wasn't the awkward talks. It was realizing my family offered no defense. My parents avoided taking sides. Jake and Emma persisted, leaving me more alone. It became evident. Emma wouldn't relent, and Jake fully endorsed her. My parents aimed for harmony, but their neutrality worsened everything. Nobody defended my position. Nobody declared it over. Then Emma escalated at a backyard barbecue, pulling me away again. She suggested I offer part of the trust as a wedding present. Not everything, just sufficient for a deposit. I wasn't spending it currently. Incredulous, I heard her frame inaccessible money as a gift. Again, I declined politely but decisively. She reacted as though I'd insulted her profoundly. She claimed I didn't truly love them. This could transform our future, Mia. Clinging to funds I didn't require immediately, I departed exhausted, but she pressed further. She recast her demand as investing in family unity. It would foster closer ties, benefiting everyone long-term. I chuckled at first, but she meant it. Jake chimed in, remarks like how fortunate I was. I possessed the ability to impact lives. Few have that privilege. I appealed to my parents once more, detailing Emma's recent tactics. My mom insisted Emma sought acceptance, and Jake had struggled more financially. Struggled more? We shared the identical upbringing, resources, opportunities. The sole distinction was my prudent decisions versus his impulsiveness. My father then said they weren't forcing me. Simply consider it. Preserving family peace sometimes outweighs proving a point. That instant clarified the full scope. It exceeded Emma. The entire family enabled her. I clung to hope they'd see reason. But an invitation soon arrived from Jake and Emma for lunch. I anticipated a casual sibling meal. Instead, it was an ambush. We ordered, chatted superficially. Then Emma leaned forward. We thought perhaps half the trust fund. You'd retain ample for your needs while we gain the foundation for ours. My utensil nearly slipped. Half, she proposed half. I restated the inaccessibility and my refusal to part with it. Her demeanor sharpened. She accused me of stockpiling resources that could uplift the family. Jake concurred. You have stability, he noted. This would alter everything for us. I exited the venue depleted. Days passed, then my parents summoned me. A family discussion, they called it. Jake and Emma awaited upon arrival. They sought to ease tensions. My father then suggested perhaps contributing some portion. Not half, merely enough to prove affection. Stunned, I realized my parents advocated surrendering inheritance for another's celebration. I rose and declared no, then departed. Relations deteriorated further afterward. Emma contacted distant relatives, spinning her narrative. Soon, infrequent kin messaged or called, echoing that I was ungrateful and ought to assist for family's sake. Sanity felt slipping. I'd communicated clearly, maintained boundaries, noted the lock on funds, yet facts ignored. I contemplated legal steps, though suing kin nauseated me. Still, protection seemed vital. I consulted an estate attorney, detailing the coercion, manipulation, slander. She was appalled, deeming Emma's conduct potential harassment. She verified the trust's ironclad security, solely mine forever. Relief mixed with ongoing strain as I left. She recommended documenting all interactions. Messages, notes, verbal accounts. I assembled a dossier. Meanwhile, Emma intensified. Vague online posts emerged. Certain individuals prioritize cash over kin, or nuptials expose true loyalties. No names, but obvious. Colleagues noticed. One discreetly mentioned an anonymous family call to HR probing my earnings. Horrified, proof absent, but alternatives unlikely. That evening, I contacted the attorney anew. Time arrived. She prepared and dispatched a cease and desist to Emma, demanding halt to harassment with litigation threatened otherwise. It partially succeeded. Posts ceased, silence ensued. But Jake rang enraged. How dare I subject her to this? Embarrassing, receiving legal notice from kin? Composed, I replied I'd begged cessation repeatedly. Chances exhausted. Boundaries violated, leaving no option. He rejected it. She merely sought our shared future. This concerns care and unity. No, I countered. It involved coercion and greed. True family concern avoids backstabbing and vilification. He disconnected. My parents mirrored disappointment. Mom phoned distraught over my extreme action. I recalled multiple pleas they'd ignored. Isolation peaked. Then a twist altered the course. Jake mistakenly forwarded to the family group a text intended solely for Emma. It read, "Unbelievable you've been texting friends this way about Mia's trust. You promised persuasion, not force. Attached were captures. Emma's messages to another, boasting parents would compel my surrender. One stated, Mia's too gentle. She'll give in eventually. Another, so fixated on her petty enterprise ideas, blind to how this cash belongs with us. Chat froze briefly, then responses flooded. Mom, Emma, is this accurate? Dad, you claimed misunderstanding. Were you dishonest? Emma scrambled, misinterpreted, venting. Damage undeniable, screenshots damning. That night Jake phoned subdued. Sorry, Mia, didn't intend exposure that way. Discovered on her device, shocked. Why tolerate it so long? I questioned. Believed her zeal was for us, he admitted. Didn't grasp the deceit depth. I accepted the regret but noted repair required more. He acknowledged, revealing breakup plans. She's not who I believed, unwilling to marry someone harming my sister. Repercussions vast from the chat. Prior supporters apologized profusely. Even Mom, staunch defender, admitted, "Forgive us, Mia. We failed to heed you." Parents now strive to mend ties. Jake, post-split, attends counseling, offers genuine remorse. Healing gradual yet advancing. Emma evaporated. Deactivated accounts, scrapped wedding, returned gown, absent from events. Last reports, blaming me for destruction, but indifference prevails. This saga reinforced boundary strength, instinct, trust, guilt, resistance. Emma severed permanently. Jake and I rebuild tentatively. Parents and I proceed warily anew, crucially reclaiming my aspirations, trust intact. Soon I'll deploy it, toward my visions, not another's extravagance. Appreciate enduring this tale. Unexpected ugliness arose, but pride endures in my resolve. Authenticity preserved, irremovable. If this narrative moved you, resonated deeply, please like, share widely, and subscribe for additional authentic accounts and touching tales. Your engagement matters immensely, enabling more such stories. Thanks for viewing. Until next time.